Boring sleeping history. Kingdom of the Jaguar throne. A saga of the Maya. In the beginning there was the sea and the sky, and a great silence. The maker gods, Tepu and Gukamats, pondered the void, and decided to create the world. They spoke the word earth, and the land rose from the waters, mountains pushing towards the heavens. They populated it with plants and animals, but they were not satisfied. They needed beings who could speak, who could keep the days, and who could honor their creators. Their first attempts, made of mud and then of wood, were failures, but their final attempt, made from the sacred grain of white and yellow maize, was a success. From this divine dough, the first true humans were formed, the ancestors of the Maya. This is the story told in the Popol Vuh, the sacred book of the Quiche Maya, a creation myth that places maize not just at the center of their diet, but at the very core of their identity. The cradle of this new civilization was the vast, challenging environment of the Mesoamerican lowlands, a region spanning modern-day southern Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, and Honduras. In our journey, we see this landscape transformed into a realm of surreal beauty, a tropical jungle under a constant, magical blanket of snow. Towering ceiba trees, the sacred world tree of the Maya, are draped in white, their branches heavy with snow and orchids. The humid air is crisp and cold, the breath of howler monkeys misting in the bright sunny air. The vibrant plumage of macaws and quetzals provides a shocking slash of color against the pristine white canvas. Here, in this snowy jungle, amidst the cry of the jaguar and the rustle of the serpent, the foundations of the Mayan world were laid during what is known as the pre-classic period, c. 2000 BC. The earliest Maya were not builders of great pyramids but small village-dwelling farmers. Their entire existence revolved around the cultivation of the three sisters, maize, beans, and squash. They cleared patches of the snowy jungle using slash-and-burn agriculture, a demanding process that required a deep, intimate knowledge of the land and the seasons. They lived in simple houses of pole and thatch, their roofs collecting mounds of snow, their communities clustered together for safety and cooperation. These early centuries were a slow, patient process of mastering their environment, of learning the rhythms of the sun and the rain, and of laying the social and cultural groundwork for the explosion of civilization to come. Influence from a sophisticated neighboring culture, the Olmec of the Gulf Coast, often called the mother culture of Mesoamerica, began to filter into the Mayan world. The Olmec provided a template for many of the traits that would later define the Maya: the construction of earthen mounds as ceremonial centers, the carving of monumental stone heads, the rudiments of a calendar system, and the worship of a pantheon of gods that included a powerful jaguar deity. The Maya absorbed these ideas and began to transform them into something uniquely their own. Around 1000 BC, the first significant Mayan ceremonial centers began to emerge from the snowy jungle floor. Places like Nacbe and El Mirador in the Petén Basin of Guatemala grew into sprawling complexes. These were not yet true cities in the modern sense, but vast sacred precincts. The Maya began to build on a grander scale, constructing massive platforms and the first pyramids, their sloping sides designed to shed the heavy snow. The most iconic of these early structures is the Danta Pyramid at El Mirador, one of the largest pyramids in the world by volume, its colossal form rising above the snow-covered canopy of the jungle, a man-made mountain dedicated to the gods. It was during this middle and late pre-classic period that the core institutions of Mayan civilization were forged. The concept of divine kingship began to take root. Rulers known as Ajao were no longer just chieftains but were seen as shaman priests, powerful intermediaries who could journey into the Xibalba, the underworld, and commune with the gods and ancestors. Their authority was based on their perceived ability to control the supernatural forces that governed the world, ensuring the fertility of the crops and success in warfare. To legitimize their power and record their deeds, the Maya developed one of the most sophisticated writing systems in the ancient Americas. It was a complex logosyllabic script, a beautiful and intricate combination of phonetic symbols and logograms, glyphs that represent whole words. They began to carve this script onto stone monuments called stelae, upright slabs that depicted the ruler in full ceremonial regalia, surrounded by texts proclaiming his lineage, his military victories, and the important rituals he performed. These stelae, standing like silent sentinels in the snowy plazas of the burgeoning cities, were declarations of power and piety, meant to be read by gods and humans alike. This era also saw the birth of Mayan artistic traditions. They became master artisans, working in jade, a stone more precious than gold, which they believed held the essence of life, water and maize. They carved intricate masks, jewelry, and ceremonial objects from its green depths. Their pottery evolved from simple utilitarian vessels to beautifully painted ceramics depicting scenes from mythology and courtly life.
Life was structured by an increasingly complex understanding of time and the cosmos. The universe was seen as having three layers: the heavens above, the earthly middle world where humans lived, and the nine-level underworld below. A great ceiba tree, the Waka-chan, stood at the center of the cosmos, its roots in Cibaba and its branches in the heavens, providing a pathway between the realms. Caves, and the deep, water-filled sinkholes known as cenotes, imagined here as otherworldly shafts of turquoise water surrounded by snow and ice, were sacred portals to this underworld. The pre-classic Maya laid every cornerstone of the civilization that would follow. They mastered agriculture in a difficult environment, established the political and religious institution of the divine king, developed a unique and expressive writing system, and began to build monumental architecture that reflected their cosmic vision. By the end of the period, the stage was set. The scattered ceremonial centers were poised to become mighty, competing city-states. The Jaguar god was stirring in his cradle of snow and stone, and the golden age of the classic Maya was about to dawn.